Hello everybody. Recently Apple decided, without any prompting from the EU I'm sure, to release sideloading and alternative app stores in the EU. One of the things that people have been getting, as from yesterday I believe, is the ability to download an emulator called Delta, and it's a very good emulator. But here in the EU things are not quite that easy. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you how, if you live in the EU, to get Delta emulator onto your iPhone. First of all, you'll need to open Safari on your phone, on your iPhone that you want to put the AltStore onto, and navigate to AltStore.io. Once you're there, you'll see you get a little bit of a blurb about everything that it does. At the moment there's only two apps on the AltStore, which is the Delta emulator that we're looking for, and a Notes app, also made by the same guy that made the Delta emulator. And then you'll see there's two different ways that you can get AltStore. There's a free way, but it's a bit of a pain, so I didn't bother with that. You can actually download a secondary app onto your Windows machine, or your Mac, and then just use that. Once you've connected your iPhone to that computer and done all the security things needed, you will then be able to sideload the AltStore from that computer onto your phone. It's way too technical for my liking, and here they ask you to pay €1.50 per year for using the AltStore. Depending on where you are in the EU, obviously they'll add tax onto that. So I chose that route because €1, in my case it was €1.85, really isn't that bad. €1.82. Once you've done your payment and everything, it'll give you a download link. Again, you have to be in Safari, otherwise the download link won't work. Click on the download link and it'll download the AltStore to your phone. However, there will be some security warnings from Apple, because obviously they don't like you downloading alternative stores from anybody, and you'll have to deal with those. It's basically just are you sure? You can go into your settings and allow this, because normally we wouldn't allow this. Then as soon as you go into your settings, you'll see it at the top of the settings. It'll say allow AltStore LLC, I think it is, it's an American company, to install this application, and you allow it. So then you'll have AltStore eventually on your phone. Once you open AltStore, there will only be two apps at this point of making this video available, the Delta emulator and Clip, which, as I said, is made by the same guy. Then just install Delta emulator. There will be a security warning again from Apple, where you have to allow it, and you'll have to do your Face ID and verify that your Apple ID is being used for this. And once it's done, then eventually that's the last hoop that you'll have to jump through. Once you've got Delta downloaded on your phone, you'll see this basic interface. There won't be any games or ROMs installed when you first open it. I've already put one in there. What I'll do is I'll explain to you how to put them on there. The settings are, there's different skins for different emulators. They all basically hark back to the original look and feel of the consoles that they come from. I just leave them at the standard, whatever is selected. You can connect controllers here. You can connect it if you install this to an iPad or something like that. You can connect a Bluetooth controller or an MFI controller or whatever you feel like to that iPad and use that as your controller for these games. Control opacity, it's self-explanatory. It's how transparent your controls, your on-screen controls are. Respect silent mode. What that'll do is, if that's on, if you put your phone on silent, then the emulator will also stop putting through sound. Haptic feedback, okay, control sticks, that's all very self-explanatory. And the haptic feedback is actually quite good, and I've been using just the standard control configuration and it's been working pretty well. You'll see one of the things that are in their settings has Delta Sync. I've tried this Delta Sync, it doesn't really work very well. What it does is it tries to sync all your data across your iOS devices. So wherever you're using the Delta emulator, you can then have your save games carry across, your ROMs carrying across, all that type of thing. It sometimes works, and it normally has to connect to an alternative cloud drive. From what I've seen so far, I might be mistaken, but it's normally a Google Drive or OneDrive or something like that. And the rest is just information on what this is all about. Right, the first thing you'll need to do when you want to install games or ROMs onto your emulator is go and find the ROMs. If you own the games, then legally you can download the ROMs from one of the many sites on the internet. Just Google it and go and find the ROMs that you want. Then you download them. Do it on the phone so that it downloads to the download directory on your phone. Once you've done that, you can just click the plus button here. You go to Files and you navigate, browse back until you see this list, and you see here Favorites, Downloads. And then just go down to the ROMs that you've got. You'll see here I've got Classic NES, Donkey Kong. Select it and open it, and it'll install just that easy. It's normally a zip file, so a compressed file, and that's all there is to it. You click on it and away you go. And there you have it. This is basically your ROMs are now playing nicely. If you do want to, the one extra feature that it is, because it's an emulator, is you see this menu button down the bottom here. If you click that, what it does, it'll save the state. So basically it'll save the state of that game, if it can, right where it is. And then you can load states as well. It's almost like a great little save game. Load cheat codes for games that support that. You can also go back to the main menu, play the next one. Or you can just go back, resume. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this. If you did, please like, subscribe, all those lovely things to help the algorithm. And I will catch you on the next one. Bye-bye. And somebody's just decided to start blowing wind at leaves. Of course they would.